Good. Everybody can hear me. It's 10 p.m. here in Norway and something, maybe also 10 p.m. or some other time where you are. It's time for our weekly heart-brain coherence session. This week a special, like I said last week, the intention special, where I will explain a little bit about setting intention, how it works, how it doesn't work. Actually, I asked people, do you have somebody or someone we want to set an intention for, and we end up with 2 today. So I just added my dear friend Monk to the session as well. And we're going to set the intention for Mary and her family as well. And I will explain a little bit more later what we're going to do. Rima, good to see you too. We are just about to get started. So intention, what are we going to do? Well, intention is basically the same thing as we do every week. When we create feelings inside of us, an experience inside of us, and like I say often, this radiates out into our electromagnetic field. So our heart, if you're new to this, our heart creates an electromagnetic field around us, measurable several feet away from us. And scientists discovered that the frequencies, vibrations, the information basically in that field gets stronger. It also gets more coherent, more direct, more not so chaotic when we focus on our heart in a specific way, as well as creating an experience inside of us. So feelings and emotions inside of us. And the better we are at that, the better we get at doing that, the more we are able to influence the world around us. It's also called manifestation. And an interesting discussion, or sometimes I have that discussion like manifestation doesn't work, you can just forget about it. And that's a very interesting way of seeing it, because that implies that that it is an activity that you do for a couple of minutes or an hour, and then you stop doing it. But I want to explain that manifesting is something you do continuously. We are continuously broadcasting information in our electromagnetic field. And what is that information? What does that information correspond to? Well, our state of being. So if we create an inner experience inside of us with strong feelings and emotions, we create another state of being. The field around us changes, and that also has their effect on the electromagnetic field of the world, the electromagnetic field of other people. And I often refer to a conference I've been to in Canada, a Science and Spirituality conference, some times back, where we were with a lot of people setting the intention for someone in our group. When we are with so many people together and someone is there as well in that group, the whole group dynamic, the whole energy, our electromagnetic field gets so strong and so coherent that, well, people call it magic happens, but spontaneous healings can happen in that situation. It happened as well. So that made me convinced completely that intention setting is real, it works. I will also tell you when it doesn't work. And manifestation works, and we are continuously manifesting. So if you hear people say that manifesting doesn't work and you can just forget about it, don't waste your time on it, you have to tell those people that actually, well, you're never wasting your time, you're continuously manifesting. If you don't manifest, you have shut down your heart basically, and there's no electromagnetic field around you. That would mean that you are not alive anymore. Remo says maybe we doubt inwardly, and that's absolutely true. In my courses I talk a lot about that, and I kind of hammer on that as well. Is that there is always in the beginning, especially when there's always something in the back of our heads like, does it really work? Or you're not really confident. There's that little voice in the back of our heads that kind of ruins the whole situation for us. But with training, with exercise, and with discipline, you really, and when you finally see some results, start easy, for example, and you see results, you can replicate those results. That little voice in the back of your head will disappear very quickly. And then you're kind of on a roll, to say it that way. So, yeah. But intention setting manifesting is more or less the same. So, what are we going to practice today? Well, we do heart brain coherence, but instead of creating feelings and emotions inside of us of happiness, gratitude, we direct those feelings and emotions toward a certain situation. So, we're going to do 2 intentions today, right after each other. The first one is for Mary from Tehran, from Iran. And she contacted me asking about, can you set some intention for me and my family? And you can most likely relate to it. She says we are a very helpful, kind family, and that kindness is being abused or misused. And I can relate to that myself, and maybe you too. When you're very helpful, you give away a lot of things free. That um, kind of gets misused. People get to you and become some kind of energy suckers. They kind of want you all the time to fix things for them or to have your opinion on something, and they never leave you alone. And maybe yeah, drag you down basically. I've had several versions of that, and that's also why I stopped doing some things for free and went over to giving some things not for free, and that worked pretty well for me. But we can set the intention for Mary and her family that they kind of become more aware of people that are those kind of people that will just make you, that will ask you all the time and abuse your kindness. That is something we can do. That's a bit difficult as well, because we have to realize, how does it feel when we as people see Mary and her family in Iran as being comfortable with their kindness and also comfortable with saying no to certain things. But we will get to that. We will try that on the fly. Number 2 is a little bit easier. That's my dear friend Monk. She has been following me and our group for several years. And she recently had an operation and she is recovering from that. She is here today as well on Second Life. And we are going to set the intention that she will have a speedy recovery, that she will heal quickly. So you can imagine, what do you feel when you see a person, in this instance Monk, and you don't need a picture, you just need the name. And it doesn't have to be the real name either. For some reason this works with call names or whatever, nicknames as well. How do we see Monk, her speedy recovery? What do we feel in that situation? Well, we will see her happy, we will be happy, maybe some kind of proud, joyful. Maybe we can see her running around in a room, like all healthy and well. That kind of situation, that kind of experience we can create inside of us. And then again, that information will be in our electromagnetic fields and that will propagate out, etc., etc. So that's what we're going to try. Okay, so we just get started. Again, we take it on the fly. First for Mary and her family in Tehran, in Iran, making sure they become more aware of people that will not treat them well, that they are able to say no to people and be kind to the people they want to be kind to and know they can be kind to and helpful to. Okay, and then for Monk and her speedy recovery. Find a comfortable position, make sure you have good enough support. As always, we start by centering ourselves just to let the day go and focus on the task ahead. So take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth, lower your shoulders, loosen your jaw, close your eyes, let the day go. Take another nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Let go, let the day go. Center yourself even more, relax. One more time, a good nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. And settle down, centered, ready for this session. Breathe normally. And then try to breathe a little slower and a little deeper than you usually would do. A little slower and a little deeper. And this is just to tell your body that it is in a safe place. Try a 5-second inhale, 5-second exhale. Also notice where in your body you feel your breath the most. Do you feel your breath the most in your nostrils? Or do you feel your breath the most in the back of your throat? Or maybe you feel your breath the most in your chest or your tummy? Just notice where you feel your breath the most. And put your attention on that spot, on that point where you feel your breath the most. Make it your focus point. And notice how you are breathing through that point. Notice the colder air flowing in and warmer air flowing out. Try to follow your breath for a little while. And if you, during the silent parts of this meditation, notice that your mind has wandered off, your thoughts are all over the place, then just gently and without any judgment get back to your breath. Follow your breath for a little while more. Now move that focus point, move your awareness into your heart space. So move your awareness into your heart space, focus on your heart. And you can help by putting your hand or your fingers on your chest right there where your heart is. Focus as much as possible on your heart. And now imagine, just imagine that you are breathing through your heart. Just imagine that. Imagine breathing through your heart. Breathing in through your heart. Out through your heart. In through your heart. Out through your heart. Keep breathing through your heart. Nice and calm, nice and slow. And can you imagine that electromagnetic field that your heart creates? Just see that in front of you, or around you basically, because that field is around you. You can imagine it as a soap bubble, a nice colorful soap bubble around you. And as you breathe in through your heart, you might even imagine that that field expands. As you breathe out, you might even notice that field contracting. So continue breathing through your heart and know that this field has all the information about our state of being in it. It broadcasts our state of being, our feelings and emotions. So as we breathe through our heart, let's change our state of being. Let's think about Mary and her family in Iran, Tehran, the main capital there. And just see a family there in front of you with Mary. A nice, cozy, kind family. And notice people coming to their door, asking for help, asking for support. And also notice people coming through their door that are coming back every time to them with different things, different questions. Maybe even agitated people that expect help from them, but family is not able to help them. And can you imagine this family, the father maybe, or Mary herself, or her mother, or maybe some of her siblings, saying no to some of those people that ask for help? Saying no in a kind way, sorry, we cannot help you. We have too much on our hands. We have to take care of ourselves as well. And how does that feel when you see Mary and her family like that? Being able to manage their time. Being able to, without feeling bad, saying no to some people. Some people that they feel or intuitively know will not be so grateful for my help, will maybe abuse that help, come back every time for more. How does it feel when you see that family successfully managing their time, successfully putting their energy in the right spot to the right people? See that in front of you. Do you feel joy? Do you feel gratitude? Do you feel compassion or care? Admiration maybe? So see that scene unfold in front of you, of that kind family in Iran, Tehran, Mary's family, finding the time to help the people they can help, to kindly say no to the people they know will not benefit from their help or will abuse their help. Just linger in that state of being. Maybe you can celebrate with that family their success. So keep breathing through your heart. Create that state of being of joy, appreciation, admiration, care, compassion, gratitude, whatever you feel, seeing this family succeed. Very good. Now let that state of being go, relax. Don't have to worry about it, think about it anymore. We can let it go. We send out that information through our electromagnetic field into the electromagnetic field of the world, and it is just like a psychic internet running around the globe. Most likely being picked up by Mary and her family. Okay, take a good out breath and lower your shoulders, then breathe calmly again through your heart. And let's shift our focus to our second subject for today, Monk. Monk has been following us and being a part of our group for quite a few years. And she's been participating, as I remember, in these sessions as well for a few years back. And we did these sessions every week. Monk has had an operation, she is home and she's recovering. And she asked if we can set an intention for a speedy recovering and healing. So you can imagine Monk at her house, maybe sitting in the couch, just back from her operation, still recovering. And then you see Monk better the next day, for example, already getting up without problems, walking around the house, almost like no operation has happened. And you can maybe see a smile on her face, feeling so happy, joyful, that everything has been a success and that she's completely healed. And how do you feel when you see Monk in that way? Do you feel gratitude, appreciation, care, compassion, joy? So see Monk in front of you, completely healed from an operation, fully recovered, doing all the things she used to do. Joyful, smiling. Create an inner experience inside of you of being there with monk and celebrating that success. As you breathe through your heart, and make that inner experience as real as possible for you. Setting the intention that the recovery and healing already has happened. And then let it go. The information, the intention has been sent out through our electromagnetic field into the world. And since Monk is here with us during this session, she has already picked up on it, so it will be resolved in a way that is perfect for her. Keep breathing through your heart. And your next out breath, lower your shoulders if you can. Relax. Maybe you want to create a feeling of gratitude inside of you, gratitude for the wonderful persons that we are, that you are, the capabilities we have by working in this way with intent, with our heart, with our intuition. Be grateful for the uniqueness, the unique ability we have as humans to self-regulate and to therefore be able to do this kind of work, to help each other out in such a way. It's okay if you notice a smile on your face. Maybe just in your imagination you can give yourself a nice warm hug. Breathe through your heart as you do that. Very good. Great. Now let's slowly get back. We can get back by noticing the room you're in right now. Just sense the room around you. Notice any sounds in the room. Breathe normally. Take a good inhale, and as you exhale, move your body back and forth and from side to side. Wiggle with your fingers and toes. And when you are ready, open your eyes. Welcome back. Welcome back. You can type back in the chat when you're back. Alright, great work everyone. Monk says back and thanks. You're welcome, Monk. Raymal's back. Good. Awesome, great work. So this is a very basic way of setting intention. And like I said, during the session, we have done this with our group a weekly basis a few years back. where we actually were on Second Life, where we could publish a picture of people we set the intention for. We had great success with that, but unfortunately, something changed and people got less interested in doing this work. I find it pretty awesome. I find it nice and fun to experiment with. Sometimes we are successful, sometimes not. There's a lot of things that come into play here, but it's nice. It's nice to do, and even though some of the people around me don't want to do this work anymore, I like just to get back to it once in a while because I find it pretty awesome just to kind of get the feel of people are still interested in it or not, or maybe the interest comes back again to do this kind of work. There are some things that I don't like to do because I find it difficult. For example, when you do this, you get a lot of requests about people with cancer, and maybe now almost over 90% of the request we got was, I have cancer, my father has cancer, my friend has cancer. And I tend to say no to that because deep in my heart, I can't help those people with that because I know from my work in the cancer care for many years that I'm starting at the wrong end. The intention doesn't have to go to those people, though I want that, of course, but the intention has to go through all of us. We have to completely change our way of living because there are some inconvenient truths about cancer and why so many people get cancer. And if we can address that, then we help a lot more people than taking one every week, setting intention for, and then another one comes. I mean, that never ends, and it will never end until we completely change our ways and think differently. So, for example, I wouldn't want to set intention for somebody with cancer. I want to set the intention for companies, the mobile industry, for example, that are bombarding us with electromagnetic radiation, pulsed electromagnetic radiation, as one of the main causes of cancer, by the way, the stress that causes on our cells. So I would want to set the intention there, actually. So, and yeah, but that's just my thing. Not that I don't want people to be healed from cancer or get better from cancer. Deep in my heart, I don't feel it's the right way. We have to address that somewhere else, actually. But okay, that's just my thing. I wanted to get that out. Otherwise, we have done lots of other things as well, which was successful and great fun. But also there, like we said today, the intention for marrying a family, we experienced people continuously coming back to us after they noticed it was successful with other things, and then it becomes kind of abusive. So we had to stop somewhere. So, okay, great. Well, maybe we'll hear back from Mary. Maybe we'll hear back from Monk. How it is going in a few weeks. And yeah, maybe we do this again. Next week, another session, a different session, no intention special. If you have suggestions for themes, if you have questions, if you want to do something completely different maybe, or have a question about, just contact me and we'll get it into our next session. Okay, for those, I saw a lot of Norwegian friends coming online. I have this Saturday a session in the town of Ålesund. If you want to join, contact me. You know how to register, and of course it will be in Norwegian. I'm not only speaking English. Fru Hasonovic says, so we should not have a telephone with us because of the electromagnetics. You should turn it off or set it on flight mode during the night. I always say that. There's nothing particularly wrong with mobile phones, etc. They're very helpful, but we need to give our bodies time to recoup. We need to give our cells, basically, because our cells are getting the stress from those mobile signals, from that pulsed microwave radiation. It's especially the pulsed microwave radiation that come from our cellular phones. that are wreaking havoc. There are in our cells, and this is actually knowledge that comes from 1970s. It's nothing new because all radiation protection agencies have always warned about being careful with electromagnetic radiation until the mobile telephone industry exploded. Then all of a sudden, that all the studies from the 1970s, 1980s, they were no longer true and they were no longer correct anymore. But studies continued, and actually 60 to 70% of all the studies being done point to the fact that especially our cells, our calcium gates, as they call them in those cells, and other cell functions get pretty messed up because of pulsed electromagnetic radiation. But we are exposed to it all the time. The issue today is that also now with 5G, the amount of sources, radiation sources, is just exploding. So we should be careful with that. And nothing wrong with the technology and nothing wrong with using it, but give your body a break. Turn your phone off, put it on flight mode, turn every mobile device you have, your iPad, your other devices, your Bluetooth, whatever, turn it all on flight mode when you lay down for the night. So yeah, I want to recommend that. That's the least you can do. And especially be careful with young children, that they are not all day behind a mobile phone or so, not only because of the screens, but also just radiation. It's liquid smoking. It doesn't kill you, but you shouldn't do it too often either. But now we said on the packages in Norway, at least, that smoking kills. It doesn't kill. It's just not healthy. And mobile phones or the radiation from it is not healthy as either. That's just the way it is and how physics and biology works. Okay. Maybe we do that in the next session, a bit more about electromagnetic fields. Who knows? Have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Take care. Be safe. Namaste. See you back next week. Thank you, everyone.